The chamber floated in space like a crystal crown, orbiting a dying star that pulsed with ancient light. Inside, 12 alien species sat in judgment. Their seats rose in a circle, each one higher than the last, until they looked down on the small platform in the center, where 3 humans stood alone. Admiral Tai Il Kim kept his face blank, but his hands were clenched behind his back. He was 57 years old, with gray hair cut short and eyes that had seen too many battles. Next to him stood Ambassador Subin Lee, younger and still believing that words could fix this. On his other side was Dr. Hai-Jin Park, the scientist who had warned them this day would come. The Velcoran judge spoke first. Its voice came through the translator as smooth and cold. Humanity stands accused of 3 crimes against galactic law: unauthorized expansion into protected zones, aggressive colonization without proper approval, and most serious technological recklessness that threatens the stability of civilized space. Subin stepped forward. Her voice was strong, but Tail could hear the strain in it. Honored Council, humanity has followed every law given to us. When we joined the Galactic Council 83 years ago, we were told the galaxy was open to all species who followed the rules. We have followed those rules. A creature that looked like floating crystal shards laughed. The sound was like breaking glass. You followed the rules, human, but you grew too fast. In less than 1 human lifetime, you spread to 47 worlds. It took the Velcorans 1,000 years to claim that many systems. It took my people 1,500 years. We have many children, Subin said. Our population grows quickly. We need space for them to live. That is the problem, another alien said. This one was covered in blue scales and had too many eyes. Humans breed like parasites. You consume resources faster than any species we have seen. Your technology advances at a dangerous pace. You do not respect the natural order. Tai Il wanted to speak, wanted to tell them what he really thought, but Subin had made him promise to stay quiet. This was a diplomatic matter, she had said. He was military. His job was to stand there and look respectful. Dr. Hai-Jin raised her hand. May I present our evidence? We have documented proof that some council members sabotaged our colony missions. They wanted us to fail so they could bring us here today. The head judge, a Velcoran who wore robes that seemed to absorb light, raised one long finger. The evidence is not needed. We have reviewed everything. The truth is simple. Humanity is dangerous, not because of what you have done, but because of what you will do. You cannot punish us for future crimes, Subin said, and now Tai Il heard anger breaking through her diplomatic tone. We are not punishing you, the judge said. We are protecting the galaxy. Humanity will be relocated to the Outer Veil. You have 1 standard year to move all your people and ships to that region. After that, any human vessel found in council space will be destroyed. No warnings, no second chances. The chamber went silent. Even the other humans who had come to watch the trial seemed to stop breathing. Tai Il finally spoke. His voice was quiet, but it carried. The Outer Veil is a wasteland. There are no habitable planets there. It is full of spatial anomalies and radiation. You are not relocating us. You are killing us slowly. You are resourceful, the crystal creature said, and it sounded amused. You will adapt or you will die. Either way, you will not be our problem anymore. Subin's voice shook now. This is genocide. You are condemning billions of innocent people to death. Children, families, people who have never left Earth. We are giving you a chance, the head judge said, more than you deserve. The vote has been taken. It is unanimous. All 12 council species agree. Humanity is a threat that must be contained. The word unanimous hit Tai Il like a physical blow. Even the species that had traded with humans that had seemed friendly had voted against them. It was not about justice. It was about fear. You have 1 year, the judge continued. The Velcoran Armada will escort you to ensure compliance. We will seize 90% of your industrial facilities, your mining stations, and your construction yards. You may keep your colony ships and basic equipment, nothing more. You cannot do this, Subin said, but her voice had lost its strength. She knew they could. They were doing it. The head judge stood. This session is concluded. May the old gods have mercy on your species because the council will not. The aliens began to leave, floating or walking or teleporting away. Within minutes, only the 3 humans remained on the platform. Subin sat down on the floor. She put her face in her hands. Dr. Hai-Jin knelt beside her, putting an arm around the younger woman's shoulders. Tai Il looked up at the empty seats. His jaw was tight. His eyes were cold. He had fought in wars. He had seen friends die. He had made hard decisions that cost lives. But this was different. This was his entire species being thrown away like garbage. They are afraid, Yejin said quietly. That is why they are doing this. They see what humanity could become and it terrifies them. They should be terrified, Tail said. His voice was barely above a whisper. But there was something in it that made both women look at him. They think they are getting rid of a problem. They think they are sending us away to die quietly where they do not have to watch. He turned to face them. His expression was not sad. It was not angry. It was something else. Something calculating. They just gave us exactly what we need, Tail said. Time, distance, and a reason. A reason for what? Subin asked. To become what they fear most, Tail said. They wanted us gone from their perfect galaxy. Fine, we will go. We will take our 8 billion people to their wasteland. We will survive because that is what humans do best. We survive. And while we are out there, while they think we are dying quietly in the dark, we will grow stronger. He looked back at the empty chamber. One day we will come back, and when we do, they will learn that banishing humanity was the worst mistake they ever made. Subin wiped her eyes. That sounds like a declaration of war. No, Tail said. War would be quick. This will be something else. This will be evolution. We will take their wasteland and turn it into our fortress. We will take their judgment and turn it into our fuel. And we will take their fear and prove it was justified. He started walking toward the exit. The two women followed him. Contact every colony, Tail said. Contact every human ship in space. Tell them what happened here. Tell them we have 1 year to evacuate. And tell them this is not the end of our story. This is just the beginning. Behind them, the dead star pulsed once more, as if agreeing with his words. The humans left the chamber, and the door sealed behind them with a sound like a tomb closing. But Tail was already thinking ahead. Already planning. Already seeing the future that the Council had accidentally given them. They thought they were sentencing humanity to death. They had no idea they were creating something far more dangerous. They were creating humanity with nothing left to lose. The exodus began on a cold morning in March. From Earth's surface, the sky filled with lights as ships lifted off by the thousands. They rose like metal birds carrying everything humanity could not bear to leave behind. Families, memories, hope. Captain Jinwoo Choi stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, one of the largest colony ships ever built. Behind him, through the massive windows, Earth grew smaller. He had 200,000 people on his ship. 200,000 lives depending on him to get them safely to a place no one wanted to go. All systems running smooth, his first officer reported. We are in formation with the main fleet. Jinwoo nodded. Around them, 3,000 ships moved together like a school of fish. More fleets were coming from the other colonies. By the time they all gathered at the edge of Council space, there would be 12,000 vessels. 12,000 ships carrying 8 billion souls into exile. How long until we reach the Veil? Jinwoo asked. At current speed, 11 months, the navigator said. But sir, I need to warn you. The route goes through some dangerous space. There are readings showing gravitational anomalies, radiation storms, and possible black hole clusters. The Council chose this path for us, Jinwoo said. They want it to be difficult. They want some of us not to make it. He walked to the window and looked at the fleet. Each ship carried families who had done nothing wrong except be born human. Children who would grow up knowing they were unwanted by the galaxy. Old people who thought they would die on Earth, now dying in transit to nowhere. 3 weeks into the journey, the first disaster struck. A scout ship named the Morning Star went too close to what sensors said was an asteroid field. It was not an asteroid field. It was a gravitational trap, some kind of spatial distortion that grabbed the ship and crushed it like paper. 2,000 people died in seconds. Jinwoo held a memorial service over the fleet-wide communication system. He spoke about bravery and sacrifice, but inside he felt cold rage. The Council knew about these hazards. They had sent humanity through this route knowing people would die. Engineer Narration came to see him after the service. She was small and thin with oil stains on her hands and fire in her eyes. She had been working in the engine room since the journey started, barely sleeping. Captain, I think I found something, she said. The anomaly that killed the Morning Star, it was not natural. Or at least not completely natural. There were energy signatures that looked artificial. Jinwoo frowned. Artificial? You mean someone built it? Maybe. Or maybe it is leftover technology from something very old. Nari pulled up a screen showing complex data. I have been analyzing the radiation patterns in this region. They are strange, too organized. Like they are echoes of machines that stopped working a long time ago. What does that mean for us? It means the outer veil might not be empty, Nari said. Something was here before, something advanced, and if we can find their technology, maybe we can use it. Jinwoo looked at her for a long moment. Then he smiled. It was the first real smile he had felt since leaving Earth. Tell me what you need. Nari started assembling teams. Scientists, engineers, anyone with curiosity and courage. They began scanning everything, looking for patterns in the chaos. The outer veil was living up to its reputation as a nightmare to navigate, but Nari was right. There was something else here, something hidden. 2 months later, Dr. Hyjin Park made the discovery that changed everything. Her science vessel, the Galileo, detected a structure in an asteroid field. At first, they thought it was just a large rock, but as they got closer, they realized it was too perfect, too smooth. It was a space station, ancient and dead, buried among the asteroids like a fossil. Admiral Tae-il, you need to see this, Hyjin said over the communication link. Her voice was shaking with excitement. Tae-il, who was commanding the military escort from his flagship, ordered the fleet to stop. Teams were sent to investigate the structure. What they found inside made them forget for a moment that they were exiles. The station was massive, kilometers long. The walls were made of materials that Earth's sensors could not identify. And everywhere there were machines. Most were broken. Some were just dust, but a few, incredibly, still had power. Jinwoo volunteered to lead an exploration team. They entered through a breach in the outer hull, wearing protective suits and carrying lights. The inside was like a cathedral, huge spaces with ceilings lost in darkness, corridors that seemed to go on forever. What kind of species built this? One of the team members whispered. Something that makes the council look primitive, Jinwoo said. They found a room that still had functioning displays. Strange symbols covered the walls, glowing with soft blue light. Hyjin touched one and the entire room came alive. Images appeared in the air. Star maps, technical diagrams, records of a civilization that had existed millions of years ago. They called themselves the Architects, Hyjin said, reading the translated data. They built across the entire galaxy. They had technology that could reshape planets, create energy from nothing, and travel between stars in ways we cannot understand. What happened to them? Jinwoo asked. The records are incomplete, but it looks like they did not die. They evolved. They became something beyond physical form. They left all this behind because they did not need it anymore. Nari was studying one of the machines. Her hands moved over its surface, feeling the texture, trying to understand its purpose. Can we use any of this? That is the beautiful part, Hyjin said. She was smiling now, really smiling. Look at this data. They left instructions, like they wanted whoever came after them to learn, to grow. They left gifts for the species that would find them. Word spread through the fleet. The humans had found something incredible. The outer veil was not a prison. It was a treasure vault that the council had no idea existed. Over the next months, they found more stations. More technology? Some of it was too advanced to understand. But some of it, with work and study, could be adapted. Nari led the engineering efforts, taking architect designs and combining them with human technology. The results were incredible. They developed new shields that could protect ships from the veil's radiation. New engines that used exotic matter found in the region. New sensors that could see through the spatial distortions. Every discovery made them stronger. But the journey was still brutal. They lost 17 more ships to accidents and hazards. 60,000 people died before they reached their destination. Jinwoo attended every memorial service. He learned the names of every ship. Every captain. He promised himself he would remember them. Finally, after 11 months of travel, the fleet reached the zone the council had designated for them. They found 13 worlds that could possibly support human life. None of them were good. All of them would require massive work to make habitable. Admiral Tae-il called a meeting of all the fleet commanders. They gathered in virtual space, their holographic forms standing in a circle. This is our new home, Tae-il said. He gestured to the star map showing their new territory. It is not what we wanted, but it is what we have. The Council thinks we will struggle here and slowly fade away. They think we will spend all our energy just trying to survive." He paused, looking at each face. "They are wrong. We have found something they never imagined. The architects left us keys to technology beyond anything the Council possesses. We will not just survive here. We will thrive. We will build, and one day when we are ready we will show the Council what a mistake they made." Jinwoo raised his hand. "What do we call ourselves now? We are not part of the Galactic Council anymore." Tae-il smiled. It was a cold smile. A predator's smile. "We are the Free Human Federation. We answer to no one. We bow to no one. And we will never forget what was done to us." The commanders cheered. They had survived the journey. They had found hope in the darkness. And now they would begin the real work, building a civilization strong enough to take the galaxy. 75 years had passed since the Exodus. Fleet Marshal Dongmin Kim stood at the observation deck of Fortress Prime, looking out at what humanity had built. Where once there had been only dead rocks and radiation storms, now there were cities of light. 89 star systems belonged to humanity now. 89 systems that glowed with industry and life. Dongmin was the grandson of Admiral Tae-il, who had died 20 years ago. He had inherited his grandfather's sharp mind and his hatred of the Council. But unlike his grandfather, Dongmin had never seen Earth. He was born in the Outer Veil. This wasteland was his home, and he had helped make it into something magnificent. "Marshal, the chief scientist is here to see you," his assistant said. Dongmin turned as Yoonji Park entered. She was in her 40s with her mother's intelligence and her mother's determination. Dr. Heejin had passed away just last year, but she had lived to see her daughter unlock the greatest secrets of the architects. "Show me what you found," Dongmin said. Yoonji smiled and pulled up a holographic display. It showed a sleek warship, unlike anything the Council had ever built. "We finished the first prototype yesterday. We call it the Architect class. It uses the FTL drive we reverse-engineered from the ancient technology. It is 3 times faster than Council ships and uses half the energy. How many can we build? With our current automated construction systems, we can produce 50 per month. We have enough raw materials in the Veil to build thousands." Dongmin walked around the hologram, studying every detail. "And the weapons?" "Better than you hoped," Yoonji said. She changed the display to show weapon systems. The architects understood how to manipulate spacetime. "These weapons do not just destroy ships. They tear holes in reality. A single shot can disable an entire fleet. The Council will not know what hit them." "There is more," Yoonji said. Her excitement was visible now. "We found another architect vault last month. This one contains something called the Genesis Protocol. It is terraforming technology that can transform a dead world into a paradise in just 3 years. Not centuries, years." Dongmin felt his heart race. "How many worlds could we terraform?" "All of them. Every barren rock in the Veil could become Earth-like. We could support a population 10 times larger than we have now." Before Dongmin could respond, another person entered. Director Hyun Soo Yang was the head of human intelligence, the network of spies and informants that had been watching the Council for decades. He looked worried. "We have a situation," Hyun Soo said. "Our agents in Council space are reporting major instability. 3 member species are in open rebellion. The Velkarans have been sending their fleet to crush the uprisings, but they are stretched too thin." Dongmin and Yoonji exchanged glances. This was the moment they had been preparing for. "Tell me everything," Dongmin said. Hyun Soo brought up another display, this one showing a map of Council space. Red zones marked areas of conflict. The Council is falling apart. They have not innovated in 75 years. They have not needed to. They were the dominant power and no one challenged them. But now their younger species are tired of being controlled. They want freedom. "What about the Velkorans?" Yoonji asked. "Their armada is still the largest military force in the galaxy, 12,000 warships, but our intelligence suggests they have not upgraded their technology in decades. They rely on their numbers and their reputation." Dongmin smiled. It was his grandfather's smile. "Numbers mean nothing if your enemy can see you coming and destroy you before you fire a shot." "What else?" "The Council has no idea we still exist," Hyun Soo said. "They assume we died out here or regressed to primitive survival. Our stealth technology keeps us completely hidden. We have had scouts in their space for 20 years, and they have never detected a single ship." Because the architects built their stealth systems on principles the Council never discovered, Yunji said. We bend light and sensor waves around our ships. To their instruments, we simply do not exist. Dongmin walked to the window again. Below, he could see construction yards building the new fleet. Hundreds of architect-class warships in various stages of completion. Each one was a masterpiece of human engineering combined with alien genius. How many people do we have now? He asked. 23 billion, Yunsu said, spread across 89 systems. Our birth rate has been high and we have not had any major conflicts. We are united in ways the Council species never were. Because we remember, Dongmin said quietly. Every child learns the story of the banishment. Every student studies what the Council did to us. We have not forgotten, and we will never forget. He turned to face them both. My grandfather spent his life preparing for this. My father continued his work. Now it falls to us. The Council is weak. They are divided, and they have no idea what we have become. Are you saying it is time? Hyunji asked. I am saying we need to be ready. Hyunsu, I want detailed reports on every Council shipyard, every military installation, every weakness we can exploit. Hyunji, accelerate the warship production. I want 3,000 ships ready within 2 years. 3,000? Unji looked surprised. That is aggressive. The Velkorans have 12,000, Dongmin said. But we do not need to match their numbers. We just need to be so superior in technology that numbers become irrelevant. Can you do it? Yes, Yunji said. But Marshal, are we really going back? Are we going to war with the Council? Dongmin was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke, and his voice carried the weight of 3 generations of exile. War is what the Council fears. War is brutal and destructive. We will not give them war. We will give them something they cannot fight with weapons. What is that? Hyunsu asked. Evolution. We will return to the galaxy not as conquerors but as liberators. The species that are rebelling against Council control, we will offer them alliance. The colonies that feel oppressed, we will offer them freedom. We will not destroy the Council. We will make them obsolete. He pulled up a new display showing their strategic plan. We start small. We take control of the frontier systems, the ones far from Council oversight. We offer those colonies a choice. Join the Free Human Federation or be left alone. Most will join us willingly because we can offer them something the Council never could. What is that? Hyunji asked. Respect, equality, technology that improves their lives instead of controlling them. The architects left us gifts, and we will share those gifts with everyone who wants them. We will show the galaxy that humanity is not the threat the Council claimed. We are the solution to the Council's tyranny. Hyunsu smiled. The Council will panic when they realize what is happening. Let them panic, Dongmin said. Let them send their armada. We will be ready. And when the dust settles, the galaxy will see that the species they tried to exterminate became the species that saved them all. Over the following months, the preparation intensified. Factories worked around the clock. Training programs prepared millions of soldiers and pilots. Scientists made breakthrough after breakthrough, each one bringing humanity closer to technological supremacy. Dongmin visited the memorial site where his grandfather was buried. The old admiral had requested a simple grave with a view of the stars. Dongmin knelt beside the stone marker. Grandfather, you told me once that the Council made a mistake when they banished us. You said they gave us time to become strong. You were right. We are ready now. We are going back just like you promised, and we will make them understand that humanity cannot be thrown away. He stood and looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, beyond the veil's shimmering barriers, the Council continued their lives. They probably never thought about humanity anymore. They had forgotten the species they exiled, but humanity had not forgotten them. And soon, very soon, the galaxy would learn that some mistakes could never be undone. The Free Human Federation was coming home. Supreme Commander Jiwan Kang watched the tactical display with cold satisfaction. 47 star systems had fallen to humanity in just 3 weeks, and not a single shot had been fired. Her strategy was working perfectly. Commander, the colony at Ridge Station is requesting terms of surrender, her communications officer reported. Give them the standard offer, Jiwan said. Join the Federation with full citizenship and protection, or remain independent with a non-aggression treaty. Their choice. She was 52 years old and had spent her entire career preparing for this moment. Her reputation as a tactical genius was well earned. She could see patterns in chaos, predict enemy movements before they happened, and win battles before they started. But her greatest talent was understanding that sometimes the best victory was the one where nobody died. The frontier colonies were easy targets. They had been ignored by the Council for decades, treated as resource providers with no real voice in galactic politics. When human ships appeared, offering partnership instead of conquest, most surrendered within hours. A few remained neutral, and G1 kept her promise to leave them alone. Word spread quickly through Council space: humanity was back, and they were not the monsters the Council had claimed. Admiral He Young Cho commanded the stealth fleet, the shadow force that moved through Council space like ghosts. Her ships used architect technology to remain completely invisible to sensors. They could be right next to a Council vessel, and the aliens would never know. "Admiral, we are in position at the Corvin shipyard," her first officer whispered, though there was no need to be quiet in the vacuum of space. He Young studied the massive construction facility through her ship's sensors. 12 Council warships were being built there, each one representing months of work and billions in resources. The shipyard employed 50,000 workers. "Send the message," she ordered. A tight beam communication hit the shipyard's command center. The message was simple. "This facility is now under human control. Evacuate all personnel to the transport ships we have provided. You have 2 hours. Anyone remaining will be considered hostile." The shipyard commander, a Velcoran officer, appeared on screen. His scales were pale with shock. "How did you get here?" "Our sensors show nothing." "Your sensors are looking for technology, you understand," He Young said calmly. "We have moved beyond that. Please evacuate. We do not want to harm anyone." 2 hours later, the shipyard was empty. He Young's Marines moved in and secured the facility without resistance. 3 more shipyards fell the same way over the next week. The Council was losing major military assets, and they had not even seen the attackers. Ambassador Sang-Ho Lee was the great-grandson of Subin, the diplomat who had failed to stop humanity's banishment. He had inherited her idealism, but added to it a steely determination. When he entered the Council chamber, the same chamber where his ancestor had stood in judgment, he felt a sense of completion. The chamber was in chaos. Representatives from 12 species shouted at each other, accusing and blaming. The Velcoran head judge, older now but still in power, called for order. "This session will come to order," the judge said. "We face a crisis. The species we banished has returned, and they are taking our territory." Sang-Ho stepped forward into the center platform, the same spot where his great-grandmother had stood. His voice carried clearly through the chamber. "Humanity has returned. We did not come for revenge. We came to take our place as we should have always held it, as equals or as conquerors. The choice is yours." The chamber fell silent. Every alien eye focused on the humans standing alone in their midst. "You were supposed to die," the Velcoran judge said. His voice shook slightly. "The outer veil was supposed to kill you." "You underestimated us," Sang-Ho said. "You thought we would break. Instead, we evolved. The wasteland you sent us to was filled with technology beyond anything you possess. The architects left us gifts and we learned to use them. While you stagnated in your comfort, we became something new." A representative from one of the smaller species stood. "What do you want from us?" "We want what you denied us 75 years ago," Sang-Ho said. "We want to be part of the galaxy, but not your galaxy. Not a galaxy ruled by fear and control. We are building a new federation where every species has an equal voice, where technology is shared, not hoarded, where justice is real, not just a word spoken before judgment." "You speak of justice while invading our space," the Velcoran judge said. "We are not invading," Sang-Ho replied. "We are liberating. Ask the colonies that have joined us. Ask them if they feel conquered or freed. The Council has ruled for 10,000 years, and what have you given the galaxy? Stagnation, oppression, fear. We offer something better." The judge's face darkened. "This is a declaration of war." "No," Sang-Ho said. "This is an invitation to change. But if you choose war, we are ready for that too." He turned and walked out of the chamber. Behind him, the Council erupted into arguments and threats. Sang-Ho had delivered his message. Now it was up to Ji-Wan and He-Young to show the Council that humanity's words were backed by power. The Velcoran Council convened an emergency session. They made their decision quickly, driven by panic and pride. The entire Velcoran armada, 12,000 warships strong, would be sent to crush humanity once and for all. It was the largest military force assembled in 1,000 years. Jiwon received the news with a smile. They are sending everything. Good, let them come. Commander, 12,000 ships against our 3,000, her tactical officer said nervously. Those are difficult odds. Not if they cannot see us, cannot track us, and cannot match our weapons, Jiwon said. She pulled up a star map. They will come through the Corvin Passage. It is the fastest route to our territory. We will meet them at the Nebula of Lost Stars. The nebula was a vast cloud of gas and radiation, beautiful and deadly. It interfered with normal sensors and communications. For Council ships, it was a navigational hazard to avoid. For human ships with architect technology, it was perfect cover. The battle began 3 weeks later. The Velcrin Armada entered the nebula in perfect formation, confident in their numbers. They detected nothing on their sensors. The nebula was supposedly empty. Then the humans attacked. Ships appeared from nowhere, their weapons tearing through Velcoran hulls before the aliens could respond. The human vessels moved impossibly fast, their architect drives allowing maneuvers that seemed to defy physics. Their weapons did not just destroy ships. They disabled entire groups with single shots, just as Yoonji had promised. The Velcoran commander tried to organize a defense, but it was like fighting shadows. Every time his ships locked onto a target, it vanished. Every time they formed up, weapons fire came from unexpected directions. The nebula that was supposed to hide nothing was filled with human ships that his sensors could not see. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, 800 Velcoran ships were destroyed or disabled. The humans lost 43 vessels. The rest of the Velcoran fleet retreated in complete disorder, their legendary armada broken by an enemy they never saw coming. News of the battle spread through the galaxy like fire. The invincible Velcorans had been crushed. Humanity had returned with power beyond imagination. 5 minor species immediately contacted the Free Human Federation, asking to open diplomatic relations. 2 species withdrew from the Council entirely, declaring they would no longer follow the elder races. In the Council chamber, the Velcoran judge made his final decision. His voice was filled with rage and fear. Humanity is declared an existential threat to all civilized life. All Council species are ordered to commit their full military strength to human extermination. No mercy, no prisoners, no negotiations. They will be wiped from the galaxy. But even as he spoke, ships from 3 Council species were already defecting, their crews tired of serving a government that treated them like servants. The Council's unity was cracking, and humanity was the hammer breaking it apart. Jiwon received reports of the extermination order and laughed. They still do not understand. We are not the threat. We are the future, and the future cannot be stopped with old weapons and older fears. She began planning the next phase of the campaign. The Council wanted total war. Humanity would give them something far more devastating. They would give them hope for a better galaxy. 4 years had passed since the Battle of the Nebula. Grand Admiral Young Jae Kim stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Defiance, and watched as 200 human worlds prepared for the final offensive. He was the great-great-grandson of the original Admiral Tae-il, and he carried that legacy like a weight on his shoulders. The war had been long, but humanity was winning. The Free Human Federation now controlled over 200 star systems. 5 former Council species had joined them completely. 7 others had withdrawn from the Council and declared neutrality. The galaxy was fracturing and the old order was dying. Admiral, all fleets report ready, his tactical officer said. 8,000 ships standing by for your command. Young Jae looked at the holographic display, showing the target, the Velcoran homeworld and the cluster of core systems where the Council maintained its power. This would be the final battle. After this, the Council would either surrender or cease to exist. Chancellor Tae-il II entered the bridge. He was named after the Great Admiral, and he led the Federation's civilian government. He was younger than Young Jae, only 43, but he carried the same determination that had defined his namesake. The civilian fleet is in position, the Chancellor said. Medical ships, supply vessels, and reconstruction teams. We will need them after the battle. You sound confident we will win, Young Jae said. I am confident that whatever happens, we will show them who humanity truly is. The Chancellor replied, not conquerors, not destroyers, builders of something better. Before they could continue, Dr. Min Seo Park rushed onto the bridge. She was the last of the Park family line, the great-great-granddaughter of He Jin. She looked exhausted but excited, carrying a datapad that glowed with urgent information. "Admiral Chancellor, you need to see this immediately," Min Seo said. "We found another architect vault. This one was hidden deeper than all the others, and inside we found their final gift." She pulled up images on the main display. The vault contained a massive structure, larger than any of the previous finds. Strange energy readings pulsed from its core. "What is it?" Young Jay asked. "They called it the Ascension Engine," Min Seo said, her voice trembling. "According to the records, this device can elevate an entire species beyond physical existence. It can make us like the architects were. Pure consciousness. Pure energy, immortal, unlimited." The bridge went silent. Every person there understood what she was saying. This was the ultimate prize. "The power to become gods, can we use it?" the Chancellor asked quietly. "Yes," Min Seo said. "The architects left complete instructions. They wanted whoever found it to have the choice they had. To transcend physical limitations and become something greater." Young Jay looked at the image of the device. After everything humanity had endured, after all the struggles and deaths and exile, this was their reward. They could become more than human. They could become perfect. "No," he said. Everyone turned to stare at him. "Admiral?" Min Seo said, confused. "We are not using it," Young Jay said firmly. "Seal the vault. Lock it away. Leave it for whoever comes after us millions of years from now." "But why?" Min Seo asked. "This is everything we could ever want. We would never die, never suffer, never be defeated. We would also never be human," Young Jay said. He walked to the window and looked at the fleet. Thousands of ships crewed by people who had fought and bled and sacrificed. "My great-great-grandfather made a choice when the Council banished us. He chose to survive as humans, not to become something else. We have climbed this far through our own effort, our own intelligence, our own stubbornness. If we use that device, none of it will matter. We will have taken a shortcut to godhood instead of earning our place in the galaxy." The Chancellor nodded slowly. "He is right. Our strength comes from being human, from our flaws and our determination to overcome them. If we become something else, we lose what makes us special." Min Seo looked at them both, then at the image of the Ascension Engine. Finally, she smiled. "My great-great-grandmother would have agreed with you. She spent her life studying the architects, and she always said they left because they had nothing left to struggle for. Perfection is a kind of death. Seal the vault," Young Jay ordered, "and let us finish this war as humans." The final battle began at dawn on Velcor Prime. The Council had gathered its remaining forces, 6,000 ships from the species still loyal to the old order. They formed a defensive sphere around the homeworld, prepared to fight to the last vessel. Young Jay did not attack immediately. Instead, he opened a communication channel to every ship, every station, every colony in the system. "This is Grand Admiral Young J. Kim of the Free Human Federation," he said. "We have come to end the Galactic Council, but we have not come to destroy you. Every being in this system has a choice. Lay down your weapons and join us in building something better, or continue fighting for a government that sees you as tools instead of people. Choose." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then one ship, a Velcaran destroyer, broke formation. Then another, then 10, then 100. Entire squadrons abandoned their positions and declared for the Federation. The Council's defensive line collapsed as more than half their forces refused to fight. The remaining Council loyalists fought bravely, but it was hopeless. Human ships moved through them like sharks through water, their superior technology making the outcome certain. But Young Jay had ordered minimal casualties. Disable, do not destroy. Capture, do not kill. When the battle ended 6 hours later, the Council's military no longer existed as a fighting force. The homeworld was surrounded but unharmed. No orbital bombardment, no planetary invasion, just a quiet blockade and an invitation to talk. Chancellor Tai Il Tu landed on Velcor Prime with a diplomatic team. They entered the Council chamber, the same chamber where humanity had been judged and banished 131 years ago. The Velcoran head judge was still alive, ancient now and filled with bitterness. He sat in his seat and glared at the human leader. "You have won," the judge said. "Kill us and be done with it." "We are not here to kill anyone," the Chancellor said. "We are here to offer you the same choice we have given everyone else. Join us or go your own way. The Galactic Council is dissolved. In its place, we establish the Galactic Federation, a union of equals where every species has a voice and none live in fear. Why would you give us anything? The judge asked. We tried to exterminate you. Because holding on to hate would make us no better than you were, the Chancellor said. Because the galaxy deserves better than endless cycles of revenge. Because we are human, and despite everything you did to us, we still believe in second chances. The judge stared at him for a long time. Then slowly the old alien bowed his head. We were wrong about you. Completely wrong. Yes, the Chancellor said. You were. Over the following months, the transition happened faster than anyone expected. The elder species, freed from the Council's rigid structure, discovered they actually liked the new system. Technology-sharing programs brought innovations to species that had been stagnant for centuries. The Genesis Protocol was used freely, transforming barren worlds into gardens. The architect technology was distributed to all Federation members, advancing the entire galaxy by thousands of years. Earth became the administrative capital, but power was distributed equally among all member species. Humans held no special privileges except the respect they had earned. The old Council species were welcomed as equals, their past crimes forgiven in favor of building a better future. 200 years later, a young human student stood in front of a monument at the old United Nations site. The monument showed Admiral Tae-il Kim looking toward the stars. She read the inscription carved into the base. They feared what we would become. They were right to fear, not because we would destroy, but because we would transform everything. Her teacher, an elderly Velcorin, stood beside her. Your ancestors were remarkable, he said. They were banished and they refused to die. They were hated and they refused to hate back. They could have become gods and they chose to remain human. Why did they choose that? The student asked. Because being human means struggling, growing, learning. If they had used the Ascension engine, they would have stopped being human, and then the galaxy would have lost something precious. The student looked up at the statue. What happened to the engine? It is sealed away, waiting. Perhaps one day, millions of years from now, another species will find it, and they will have to make the same choice. Above them, ships from 100 different species moved through Earth's sky, coming and going freely. The outer veil was now the richest region of the galaxy, a testament to what desperation and determination could achieve. Humanity had been banished by the Galactic Council. They had refused to perish. They had taken the galaxy, and they had made it better for everyone.